I have a confession. I have a tendency to get so caught up in what I'm doing and my to-do list. It is sometimes hard for me to stop, pause, and reflect on what I got done and where I've been. I don't think I'm the only one that struggles with this in our very busy world between kids and careers and hobbies. Life is full, and I'm not complaining, but there are times when it makes sense to take that time to reflect. I've had to adjust what that looks like over the years. Before kids, and even when my kids were really little, I was able to journal almost daily, 30 minutes in the evening, no problem. I don't have that kind of time now. So I'm going to share with you my really 4-step process and how I do this throughout the month, and share that with you so that if you're struggling in this area, maybe it's something you can adopt. So the first thing that I do is I keep track on a weekly basis the wins, things I'm excited about, successes. I mean, this can be anything that made the week great, things that I'm celebrating, and I put it on a blue sticky note. I don't know why blue, it's always blue. And I put that in my paper planner, and I keep track of that every week. I have a blue sticky note. So I have things I have on here about like my kids and the milestones that they have, or maybe I did something for me. Maybe I achieved one of my goals, or did something new and different. Maybe I had a great harvest in the garden or something. Anything that just brings me a smile. Okay, I think you get the idea. I put it on a sticky note, and I put it in my paper planner. I love my paper planner, and it's not going anywhere. There's a lot to be said about writing stuff down on paper, and for me, I have a combination of digital and paper, but that's what I do. I put it on a sticky note, put it in my planner. Okay, step 2. At the end of the month, you guessed it, I take all those blue sticky notes, and I review them. I look at them. And it's amazing what happens in a month. Sometimes I forget. So that's a good thing in of itself, is to actually review those. But I take all of that and I jot down kind of like a summary of all of that. So in my paper planner, I have a sheet all for reflecting for the month. And there are prompts in here to help me kind of summarize where I've been. So questions are: describe the month in 3 words, so 3 adjectives. There's a wellness scale, so I can rank things from 1 to 10 for happiness, calmness, productivity, fulfillment, energy, and health. I can list things I started, things I finished, and then I list the top 3 in 4 different categories, and that is things I did, places I went, foods I ate, and things I read or watched. And then I list out all the most memorable moments of the month. And that has been helpful to kind of pull out of all the things I was tracking each week, what are the ones I'm really excited about? But I'm not done yet. On the back side, there are a few other questions to talk about. Well, how did you do on your goals for the month? How did you succeed this month? Was it something I did? Was it something I experienced? How I define success? That's got to be very personal for you too. Then it talks about how can I improve for next month? And then steps to reach those improvements. So that's where it becomes a little bit more tactical. I've moved a little bit more from the emotional to, okay, I've got momentum, or maybe I've lost a little momentum in something. What can I do next month to really move forward? I take all of the things that I wrote down in the most memorable part of the month, and I put it on a sheet of paper. I'll explain this in a second, but it's literally a blank sheet of paper, lined paper. And I keep that separate, and I'll explain that. So just keep that in mind. That's step 3, taking all the notes from step 2 and kind of writing down the highlights for both personal and professional on a lined piece of paper. Okay, so let me recap real quick. First step, blue sticky note. Second step, I've got my reflection journal. I mean, you don't have to have these specific questions. You can just sit down and think, what are the things you want to document? What are the things you want to reflect on? And then I pull out the most memorable and I put it on this list. So then at the end of the year, I have this long list of both personal and professional, like usually 2 pieces of paper, and I break it down by month. I do keep track of January, February. I just find that to be helpful because it's so easy to forget with life being full, I forget when things happened. I share this with my family. So we sit down at Christmas time, and I actually started this 6 years ago. We have a journal inside our ornament box. So when we pull out the ornaments and start decorating the tree in December, we have this journal. And we each share what are we excited about having happened in that year. And I read off everything I write down. And that's really just helps everybody jog their memory. But gosh, the conversations around the table of, that really happened this year? I thought that was 2 years ago. Or, really? We did that? I totally forgot that happened. That's always fun to reflect together as a family. But we don't stop there. Yeah, we'll recap the year. We'll share our favorite moments. Each one of us gets our line with our name of what we want to write down. But then we start looking to the next year, and we start writing down our hopes and dreams for the next year. And then you guessed it, the following year on Christmas time, that journal comes back out, and we reflect. Well, what did you write down? Did it happen? Did it not happen? Sometimes our ideas of a great year change, and that's okay. And it's a great conversation to have, and it's been a fun process. I've got young kids, and it's helping them too with creating goals and helping them recognize what's important to them. But this has been my way of keeping track of the things I'm grateful for, the things I'm excited about, the things that get me out of bed in the morning. And it's hard to do this. I'm not going to lie. Here we are at the beginning of a new month, and I still haven't sat down to do my reflection sheet for the previous month, but I'll get there. It doesn't have to be done at a certain time, but the point is I just do it at some point. And I do it before I forget everything, but it's really helpful. So if you are looking for a way to practice more gratitude, if you're looking for a way to journal a little bit more, and sitting down and actually writing for 30 minutes or more is just not realistic in your season of life, that's okay. Pick whatever I've shared. If it works for you, great. If not, modify it or come up with something else. And if you have a different process, I would love to know, because it's so great to learn from everybody and how we each approach things differently.